favorite thing about Warped Tour?
I mean, the show. I like playing. We get to play to a lot of like younger audience than normal. So it's like our real only opportunity to do that.
That's cool. Yeah, there's lots of young people hanging out. It's kind of cool. Do you guys have any like weird quirks or habits on the road that like amuse or annoy each other?
You know, some of us like need to take. Some people are like, I have to take a shower. It has to happen no matter what. And then there's some people that are the opposite, where they're like, I don't care, and they start to smell. You know, there's that there's one guy who wants to shower all the time. There's another guy who's like, yo.
What about you? Are you a showerer or are you not?
No, I mean I will shower, but I'm not gonna like kill myself to shower.
Stop everything.
Yeah, because it can be on top of everything. Like, God, now I gotta go shower after doing all this stuff because it's not right there. So
yeah.
It's okay.
You know.
Yeah, lots of showering. Now you do a lot of, you speak out a lot for the LGBTQ+ community. If you were in a situation where someone was saying something that might be offensive or might be anti-LGBTQ+, what would you do?
Well, I guess it depends on what it is, when it is, where it is. I mean, I like talking to people in person because I think the internet's honestly a really bad tool for activism.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I know that there's a whole other side of people that I've encountered that think that's the way to do it, but I don't actually think that the internet does anything but sharing information. And a lot of times, the people that you want to reach aren't gonna pay attention, and then you're just sort of preaching to the choir. But then even then within the activist community, you're spending time arguing with people within the same thing about how to be the right activist. So I would rather talk to someone in person. I think pulling someone aside and saying like, hey, you probably don't understand what you're doing, or you wouldn't be doing it, and if you're gonna do it, you need to understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's kind of the best way to put it.
Very much not telling people how to be, but sort of letting them know that they're in their minds.
Yeah, I mean, because I think when you tell people how to be, it's just going to turn them off.
Yeah.
So you have to like go about it in this really strategic way, so that people don't just immediately stop listening.
Yeah.
They'll immediately just be like, oh great, and that's just another person telling me what I can and can't say, and you know, it's true, but you have to like lead people into it, because people just aren't educated. They're ignorant, and I don't say ignorant in like I say ignorant's the best word, but I feel like people think it's like this derogatory, but it's really just you don't know or understand what you're saying or how. Like, I didn't really understand a lot about, I catch myself using the wrong pronouns now, or I always would say, hey guys. Now I realize like, oh, that could be, but it's like, it's not this like, and in our culture, we beat ourselves up a lot for a lot of things, so people find that having these new introductions into how they're supposed to talk to people, it's just another way to beat yourself up. And because that's why our culture's fucked up in that way, that people don't see it as, it's really difficult for people to say, okay, now I have to use the right pronoun when I talk to somebody that looks like a woman. It's like, it's so complicated for people, and they just feel like it's just another thing that I have to like beat myself up over, rather than it's like, try, and if you're trying and you fail and you understand what you're doing and somebody gets upset, that's on them.
Yeah,
you know,
because
and like,
at least you're making the effort to educate yourself.
And people have to understand on the other side that not everybody's always gonna like show up the way you want them to, and that's part of life, and that's a bigger thing. So you have to like, but you can then also decide that you don't want those people in your life or around you or to support them, so you have this opportunity to do what you want to deal with it. But it's like dealing with it in a way that isn't aggressive, I think, is like the only way to do it.
Without like attacking and being like, you're wrong. Yeah, I do a lot of feminist activism and LGBTQ. So
I could imagine that.
I totally understand. It's like,
because there's a lot of different kinds of feminists, and a lot of feminists that don't. And there's all those feminists that don't, are being aggressive towards trans
I severely disagree
That's a whole
with that. Yeah, it's like I don't understand why you wouldn't accept a trans woman because she's a woman. So that's how it is. So what are you up to right now? Have you released a CD or?
We have a record coming out June 30th. So pretty soon. Not this Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
It's like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Almost. Cool. Yeah. What's cool?
Pull the thorns from your heart.
Cool. Do you have Cole's notes? What did you really try to achieve with?
Well, it's about conveying what it's like to come out to music that's really heavy. So it's it's super heavy for Senses Fail. I mean, there's other bands that are heavier.
Yeah, but for your...
It's not death metal. I mean, but there's lots of heavy stuff, and a lot of it's about coming out. I feel like I don't know anyone that's ever written a heavy record about sexuality. I don't know, because if they did, I would have listened to it, and I would have been like, whoa.
Yeah.
I know I can relate. But so I was like, I'm just gonna. And then there's a lot of half the record's heavy, half the record sounds like Jimmy World Clarity.
Oh, dude, nice.
And those songs aren't they're more about how to sort of come to terms with dealing with it. The heavy songs are sort of the aggression of sort of letting all that go.
So it really translates the emotion.
Yes, there's two sides to it. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. It's broken down into 4 musical movements that are all named after Buddhist concepts.
Cool.
I'm a Buddhist, and a lot of it has to do with Buddhism.
Nice.
Coming out. Buddhism and coming out. That's really the cliff notes.
Are you playing some of those gigs,
Yeah.
some of those songs on Warped Tour? Do you think it's really good to play for fans of heavy metal who are perhaps gay or bi or haven't come out to think that that's something that they are going to take and run with? It's going to really inspire them?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if there are. I don't know what there's nobody doing. There's the guy in Torch. Mm-hmm. There's the girl in OTEP. And I don't really know anyone else that plays heavy music. I don't. Not that I know of.
Yeah,
so it's
at least who's very open.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that I think do it, but not, because that's the other thing. Not everybody has to be open. You don't have to fucking go on. I'm fucking not straight.
Yeah.
I think people don't realize that. That's another thing I've realized is everybody thinks that because you identify, you then have to now take up everything, and it's that's not fair to ask everybody who identifies to be an activist.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an activist.
Yeah.
Just identifying and doing your thing can be enough. Or all people are willing to handle. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Because I still feel like I have to walk a line between getting up there and I feel like there's a line. I feel like I can't just get up there and be make it all about not being straight.
Yeah.
Because people are gonna get upset.
Yeah, and you do have straight fans who are.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about upsetting straight fans.
Yeah.
I'm worried about I'm not worried about marginalizing straight fans. I'm worried about people just going you have to come at people in this you have to circle around them and push them this way.
Herd them.
You have to herd them. Because I get up there and be fuck you, fuck everyone that's ever, and it's
fuck the homophobes.
Yeah, and it's part of, sometimes I do that. Sometimes I get up there and I feel today I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do.
Today's an angry song day.
And then, but for the most part, I try to make it, because the whole point is to try to get those people who are ignorant and scared to realize the truth.
Yeah.
So, and attacking them or making it seem like there's this aggression, I feel can be sometimes counterproductive, even though I still do it.
Extremely counterproductive.
So I have to find a way to do it in a way that it's not all I do now is go to shows and all he talks about is not being straight. We get it, dude. Somebody wrote on Twitter was your new lyrics are whiny. I'm
thanks. Thanks for
whining.
that,
I'm whining. But those people exist, and it's in order to be successful and to continue to make music and to continue to spread the message, you have to find a way to make it all work, rather than just become this obscure, heavy queer band.
Yeah.
And it's because everybody's I kind of started this I don't know, call ourselves queer hardcore. Which
Queercore.
We're not like, I wanted there to be this queer hardcore thing happening and people seeing it. Like we're not 100% a hardcore band, but it's a lot of DIY ethics, and I feel like I'm pretty honest, and I feel like being queer puts you in a level of, if you define what hardcore and punk is, I would say being queer puts you in that level of...
I'd say being queer is pretty punk.
Yeah, and hardcore, and so we started making these shirts that say queer hardcore.
That's insane.
Because I want people to see that at shows, and what is this?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? And
Yeah, I appreciate that as a hardcore fan who is gender fluid and queer. Like I always felt like there wasn't really a niche.
No, I mean there is people who always be like, that already happened. Like, oh, there was all these queer, and it's like, but I wasn't a part of that.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's not. I didn't see that.
It may have happened before this generation.
Yeah, it's not. I didn't invent it.
Yeah,
but
and it's also like there's 15-year-olds who probably haven't heard.
nobody else that I know did it for me, so that means nobody else is doing it right now.
Yeah, which is good that
That
you're
I
doing
know
it.
of here. People are doing it in other music scenes or artist communities, but not here.
Specifically the hardcore genre. Yeah. And I mean, I just want to say, like, I love the fact that you take a really non-aggressive stance, or not really. Like, sometimes you get aggressive. Like, I
mean, there'll be times I get up or somebody calls me a faggot from the stage, and I want to like jump off the stage and I want to beat the shit out of them, and like I think about it, and I don't, because I recognize that person is in a severe amount of delusion.
It's the innocent
fear.
ignorance. Like it's
They don't know, and me beating them up isn't going to do anything.
No, it's just going to reinforce it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you mentioned being called a faggot on Twitter or on stage. Do you get that a lot? Like, have you noticed since you've come out that you've been getting like maybe more hate or aggression from people because you're making yourself like almost like a target?
Yeah, I mean a little bit, but it's not like it hasn't been like overwhelming. I mean, I also don't go looking for it.
Yeah.
I'm not like trolling the internet looking for anytime our band is referenced in the comment section, because it will pop up.
It will,
I mean, it will. So if I go looking for it, I'll see it a lot. But it's like, it's you. I just can't. Yeah, I would say I see it more, but it's not like overwhelming. Like, it's not like people are like booing me off stage or anything. It's usually, one person. I mean, most people aren't going to ever say anything.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. Is most people that are like, I've gotten into things where people will say something over Twitter at shows, and I'll be like, come talk to me.
Come talk to me, yeah.
At the merch table, I'm at the merch table, and they won't come.
That's
so
awesome. It's cool that you give them
but they
that
won't.
opportunity
They'll
as
be,
well.
or like people's. This happens a lot. Parents will be like, I came to see Senses Fail play. I didn't see you try to convert everybody into, being gay. And it's like, and then like
be a big old gay preach fest.
they're like, it's not, and I'm just like, that I've dealt with that.
Yeah.
And I dealt with like people in other countries too that don't understand. Like, they're like, oh, we can't use the word queer in the article. I'm like,
Weird.
they're like, no,
That's so bizarre.
we don't want to use that word. Can we say you're gay? I'm like, no, I'm not gay.
Yeah,
Like,
it's queer is the.
it's a fluid,
gender fluidity.
gender fluid or sexual fluidity. Queer is the term that kind of encompasses that, and they're just like,
It's a great term.
having to explain it to people though, they're just like,
Have you received a lot of support from your fans?
yeah, I mean, I would say overwhelming amount is support.
Yeah.
I would say by far, I would say from fans, I was expecting more from bands. Honestly,
Really?
I was expecting more from the band community than I got, because I really didn't get any.
That's awesome.
I didn't really get anything.
I think it's a good measure of the fact that people are slowly becoming more educated and becoming less ignorant. Like people are starting to really
Yeah,
kind of pay attention and-
I think, because a lot of people do identify, it's just like not everybody's running around. Not everybody is interested in going to Pride. That's not for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think people don't necessarily know that. So
You don't have to be like, look at me.
Not everybody's like that. Some people are. Some people, that's their thing. I want to go to
Yeah.
Pride, and that's like, it's just like anything else. There's cliques and so many different kinds of people.
Yeah.
But people don't. I mean, it's getting away from that idea that if you identify, then you are like this person.
Yeah.
And that's like, a myth been perpetuated by culture. But it's been, you have to like show the majority the token minority, and then you can open it up to all, because it's like, if you're like, all these different people are this, people are like, whoa, that's
So
too
you
much.
guys just look like normal people. Like,
It's like, no, this is what a gay man is. Here's
Now let's move on.
he's white, he lives in Chelsea, this is the 90s version of the gay man.
He's got the voice.
And it's like, that helped lead, it's like everything has to happen in the way it happened. And that's why I get mad at other activists who get so mad about that, because it's like, you wouldn't even have a voice if it wasn't for that.
Like Freddie Mercury and
Like
other people who...
One time I made fun of the theater, and my friend who's gay was like, you better watch out. And I was like, I didn't even think about it, because I could never identify with that. But now I'm like, oh, that was really the only place for people who identified for hundreds of years to go. So now I'm like, oh, that makes sense why that attracted. And now I didn't understand, and it's just the same way with, I think, people that get a little mad about, like, well, there's this token version. It's like, because this person needs to exist to make this ignorant person in Kansas City start to work with this idea.
And understand where it comes from and then build from that.
And then be able to build from what it is, because their religion, their whole entire way of life tells them that this is wrong, a sin, and
it's hard to break away from that.
It's gonna take hundreds of years.
But you know what, we're starting and we're making tracks, and that's, it's people like you who are really pushing it this generation, so that's awesome.
Thanks.
Cool, so what's next for you at Warped Tour, after Warped Tour? Like, what are you guys gonna do, apart from release your CD? No, that's coming out on Warped Tour.
Yeah, it comes out on Warped Tour, and then we're going to Europe
Nice.
in September.
England? Nice.
And then we're gonna go back on a tour in the US late in the year, and then I'm not really sure.
Cool, awesome. Well, thank you. That was super educational. Thank you so much. And thank you for making time to chat
you're
to us.
welcome.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Make sure you check them out, Census Fail, if Warped Tour are coming to your town after June 30th, July 30th?
June 30th.
After June 30th, CD will be at the merch table.
Oh, it's here now.
It's already there. You can get it.
now.
You can get it now. You can get it for earlies.
$5.
$5. Check it
Cheap.
out. Census Fail's new album. This is Kieran Strange with Equalize. Peace.